this what now? Second, third time?
Okay.
We're back.
Do we knock on wood?
No. You only knock on wood if you say like, "Well, I hope an
Oh,
an asteroid doesn't hit me." Ding, ding, ding.
Ding.
Yeah. Or like you'd be like, "Oh, it's been really great being not hit by an asteroid." Knock
Ding,
on
ding,
wood.
ding.
Yeah. So.
I hope it's 3 times.
Yeah, I think it is actually 3 times. It's
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding. Anyway, this Wi-Fi sucks.
Yeah, I really need to figure out something about the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
at least, next time we stream, if it's not IRL, then I'll host it, so we don't need to worry about that.
Okay. But
yeah, Onibaba.
So Onibaba
Mhm.
takes place in like this basically this big like grass field.
Mhm.
It's like by a little lake.
In feudal Japan.
Feudal Japan. That's a good way
what
to
it says. Yeah.
And like the grass is all really tall, and there's like a few people in the movie, and they live in like little huts.
Yeah.
And that's like the setting.
And they're all gross.
Yeah. Dude, but like I don't. This movie had to be like so like what's the word like transgressive
Yeah.
for the time, because this movie is like very explicitly horny.
Yeah.
And like
also
more
just like uncomfortable to watch
Yeah.
at times. Yeah.
But like I think like one of the things that really aids that is the setting. I
Yeah.
think like that's like my favorite part of this movie is that like like it makes it like the tall grass, like the fact that the space inside of the house, the huts are so
Yeah.
cramped. It makes it like
It feels claustrophobic. Oh,
dude, chemistry,
soda.
chemistry,
Ding.
chemistry. So it feels like so claustrophobic, and it like that really like enhances this movie. It's like
Yeah.
it has such a like singular vibe to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's I guess really in a way it is kind of like a character piece in the same way that Tokyo Story is. Like there are plot events that happen, but ultimately it is more about like the kind of people that we're looking at and how their relationships to one another, but in a very different way. Yeah, I mean, essentially, there's only 3 characters in this movie. There's like an old lady, her daughter-in-law, and a soldier guy who came back and said that her husband, the daughter-in-law's husband, the grandma's son, died. So those are the 3 characters, and they're all gross. The daughter-in-law and the old lady both kill people for supplies. Essentially, that's like kind of the premise.
They kill a dog.
They kill. Oh gosh, that was like such a. Okay, this movie almost kind of reminded me of like a John Waters like Midnight type movie. Like I mean,
kind of get what you're saying.
Not to the same extent, obviously, as like say Pink Flamingos, but there's so much like excess in like
these people are really depraved.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but it's like also like they're obviously living in like war torn.
Yeah.
Like in like a really shitty area, and like they're desperate. They
Yeah.
have to like. Yeah, but yeah, they kill people and They kill like samurai that come by and like sell the stuff to this one guy who's like, I'll give you two
rice.
This. God forbid women do anything.
Yeah.
And then the other guy is just like
he's like, I swear they tried to make him look as gross as possible.
He's like I don't want to say the word.
What? What word?
I said big rapist energy.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think I was gonna say like?
Yeah, I don't know what you were gonna say. No, I mean, he seems like a freak, and he is like, essentially ran away from combat, which like, don't blame him. Like something that I like that this movie illustrates is like how there's like a lot of conflict and like wars and stuff going on, but like most of the what's their name, the peasants like have no idea why it's happening, or
they're just like the guy straight up just like, I don't really care what side I'm fighting for. I'm just in war.
Like I mean it seems like, and I mean this makes sense at least from my understanding of Japanese history, like most people joining the war. It's just so that they can have better conditions and like be fed more regularly and have like roofs under their heads rather than living in like the squalid peasant living standards.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no like loyalty there. Not like there should be, because like again, like the commanders and the samurai, like they don't care about the average fighting Joe who's doing stuff. So yeah, I think it's like I really like the kind of depiction of a lot of the yeah, there's a lot of conflict in wars.
Yeah,
so true.
This is you can't get this anywhere else.
I mean, technically, I don't even know if it's fair to say if there is a war going on in this movie. It seems like you're kind of dealing with the aftermath of a war.
Yeah.
Because they said like Kyoto is burned down and like it's just like skirmishes now, like happening between random armies.
It feels almost like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
there's a part where one of the characters, I forget who it is. I think it's Hachi, the samurai, the douchebag samurai guy.
Yeah.
He's just straight up like, oh yeah, the sky turned black during the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is he? Dude, what's going on here?
I was thinking like, oh, it's probably an eclipse.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That would make sense. They were like, what's that?
And then he said like a house or oh my god, what am I saying? A horse gave birth to a calf.
Yeah.
And the sky turned black and like all this stuff and and there's 2 emperors now.
Yeah, he comes back and basically says like, oh yeah, your son, the woman's son, that he died, but like we don't really get confirmation of that. We kind of just like to take his word for it.
Yeah, which is like a big source of tension. Okay, this is like random, but I just made this connection in my head, and like tell me what you think of this. But for some reason, this movie reminds me of like a Robert Eggers movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It has to be very influential.
Like
with that.
yeah, because like I feel like a lot of his type of movie is like historical period piece, like integrated with like parables and like folk legends of the time and space that he's depicting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like this accomplishes the same, like Onibaba accomplishes the same thing by like I said, like I didn't know, you didn't know about this, and I didn't realize it until I looked into it. But this is based on like a Buddhist parable from the time, as well. So it's depicting that kind of like parable side of things, while also like giving us a really cool like little window into that time period, or their like depiction of it.
Yeah.
Which again seems really horrible and undesirable to live in.
And then so the samurai guy is trying to like what's the word, court. Court.
That's a nice way to put it.
That's a nice way to court the
daughter-in-law.
And but like in a really gross way, and then they have like
he's like, hey baby.
Yeah. And they start having like really primal sex.
Ooh,
and then like
in the gross wheat field in the river that has dead bodies in it.
It's bad. But what happens is that the mom, it's really kind of like not 100% clear her motivations. It's like it seems like partially like jealousy, partially like I don't want her to
instinct,
and partially like I don't want her to leave me. It doesn't seem like they have a great relationship by any means.
The only thing that ties them together is like killing random dudes,
and the fact that her son,
they used to be like legally related at some point.
But so that starts to happen, and basically I don't want to like really get into like the spoilers, because I think like this movie, like the ending is like a super like memorable moment, and like genuinely like one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in a movie ever. It like this movie gets like fucked.
It gets really freaky. I mean, in more ways than one. But it gets scary. Like the horror aspect, I think did not really hit me until later down the line.
I think that's like it's just like a slow burn kind of movie. Like it really like it's like really building up to like and then like it goes like all the way up.
Yeah,
it kind of
yeah.
really turns it to like 11 there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Spinal Tap.
I haven't seen that.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like I'll say like I guess a character gets like punished. Well,
yeah.
I mean, basically,
it's
yeah.
a parable. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a parable or based on a parable, so it makes sense. But I thought this was funny. I watched this movie with my mom, which was I gave her warnings ahead of time that it would be like a weird, crazy movie. But I'm used to watching weird movies with my mom, so
Yeah.
it's a bonding activity for us. But one of the things that she said, or like she pointed out that I also was thinking about is like this movie is a parable, but it's like what the hell is the
Yeah.
message at the end?
The ending is so interesting. It's because
Yeah.
like you'd expect the person who like gets punished at the end is not the person that would get punished in most.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like it feels like
It's setting up for one person to be punished, and then they're not, kind of.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then it's like also has an ambiguous ending.
Yeah,
Because
it does.
I don't want to spoil it, but yeah. It's like that ending is cool. But
Yeah.
like usually like you kind of would expect this like it to be like kind of like anti-sex.
Yeah,
or
or something like that. Yeah.
But like it's not.
I mean, it definitely doesn't make sex seem that awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't. But like
it feels like anti like living in that time period.
Yeah.
Like literally like
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 it's just like the movie's just like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah. There's just like no desirable outcomes, I feel like, almost at all in this movie. Like I think I mean by the end of it, like again it's ambiguous, but like I don't think anyone has like any semblance of a happy ending.
Yeah.
Like really at all. So yeah, above all else, it just like I think made me. I mean, like it was very striking, and also this is just random, but I haven't mentioned this. I really like the cinematography of this movie.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It was like it actually struck me like I wasn't anticipating it. Not only were there like a lot of really cool close-ups with like the characters that I thought were like well acted and stuff, but I thought there was some really cool shot composition at points where it was like like seeing the two characters like faces and like kind of the way they're organized or like I don't know. I remember there's one shot where it was like the ugly soldier gross guy who by the way he killed like a monk or something and like took his clothes.
I was like, God, this dude sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think there's one shot where like you see him in the corner and he's like holding like a spear in the other side and I don't know why like that image felt like very like iconic to me or like like it just looked really cool.
One of my favorite parts is at the end, and I won't say what happens, but just a hint with Lars, it involves a hammer.
Oh yeah.
And that scene, like the way it's filmed, is so like disorienting.
Yeah.
It's like you almost can't tell what's happening.
Yeah.
But like you know what's happening.
Yeah, I was like squirming in my seat for the last like 10 minutes because it was just so like, uncomfortable. But I do think this is like I don't know. I've seen what was it, Seven Samurai?
Yeah.
I watched that ages and ages ago. I feel like if I revisited it, I would enjoy it more. But I think I like never appreciated like period pieces as much, or like pieces that are or movies that are meant to specifically depict a part of history and like Japanese history in particular. And I thought it was just like a really cool like I guess this is just like for me watching Onibaba. I thought it was a really cool way to see this side of Japanese history because I mean history in general a lot of times when it's being told it's told from the side of the victors and like the conquerors and the emperors and whatever, so like to see it from like literally like the lowliest members of society essentially like an army escapee or whatever, what's the word, when you like run away from the army, there's a word for it, but yeah, like army abandoner, two women who like kill people for like the chance at getting bags of rice.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's really like the lowest, most horrible way to be living in this time period. But I think it really, I mean, I think it depicts a part of history that, like, again, like you just don't see that often.
It's also like being told from a very like modern perspective.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
I think like this, it's obviously based off a parable, but like the
Mhm.
way this movie is, the story is told, it wouldn't, they wouldn't have told it like
Yeah.
like this back then.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, like the fact that it was a parable, like I feel like we, I